you know all the waves, guys, here? So on the exam, if it is pointing to this wave, what is this wave?
T wave.
T wave. What is this called? Big wave?
QRS.
So what is this one before it?
P wave.
Yes. And what is this interval from P up until here? That's the PR. And what is small interval between here? That's the ST segment. You should be able to tell all these from a graph. So it won't be a clear picture from your book like this. I don't think you get a picture like this or like this. Most probably, 90% I'm sure you get a, and it will be pointing to one of the waves or one of the intervals or the segments. Okay, guys, you should be able to tell what those are. Number one, you should be able to identify them. And number two, obviously, what P stands for, what QRS stands for, what T stands for, what ST stands for, what PR stands for. You should be able to define them. Okay, guys, you should be able to define them. Is that clear, guys? Yeah. So, good question. So the first, generally, guys, first wave you see on EKG is this called the P wave. What is this? P wave, and this big second wave is called what? This is called the QRS, and then you have see another wave. What is this wave? T wave. This is the T wave, and this T wave is telling us what? That's atrial depolarization. QRS is telling us ventricular depolarization. T wave is telling us what? Ventricular. And again, it's all written here, right? It is all. Oh, it's on the. Where did I?
Oh, it's that second slide. Oh. Yep.
Oh no, but the definitions I'm saying. The definitions are explained. Oh, they are explained in the. Yeah, it's in the lecture, or you can see them here also. Look at this handout here. That says EKG handout. They're all defined here, Mohammed. You should be able to tell what P wave stands for. You should be able to tell what PR stands for, what QRS stands for, what ST stands for, what T stands for. You have all this, right, guys? Most probably you just simply get what is this, let's say ST segment, and you should be able to take this ST segment, and then the next part would be what is the definition of it, right? What does it represent? Basically the ventricular contraction part, right? And anyone who has, like I said, myocardial infarction, when they go to the hospital because of the pain, angina, the doctor basically is looking at this portion. They're looking at what segment, guys, the ST segment is elevated or depressed, and they are able to tell the person actually was a heart attack, right, guys? That's what they're looking at. So yeah, that's one thing. Everyone good with the guys? Identifying the waves, and we should be able to tell what those five parts are. That's one thing. Second thing is you should be able to tell the heart rate. Tell the what? The heart rate. And normally the strip is the activity we did was the strip of how long? Just for how second? How many seconds? 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And I'm 95% sure you will get a question related to 10 seconds. I have seen questions saying 5 or 6 seconds also, right? But let's say it's 10 seconds, and let's say you counted 11 waves. How many waves, guys? Usually you look for which waves? The most obvious waves are what? They're the QRS waves. Right? So you count the obvious waves. So it means that 11 waves means that there are 11 contractions in 10 seconds. You get that, guys? 11 contractions in how many seconds? 10 seconds. How will you calculate heart rate? Heart rate means the number of contractions in 1 minute, right? All you have to do is convert this to what, guys? 60 seconds. 60 seconds means 1 minute, right? And how do you convert 10 into 60? Simply multiply this side by what? 6. And multiply this side by 6 also. So your answer is the heartbeat of this person is 66 beats per minute. Is that clear? And just to avoid confusion, you want me to tell you how to do it if it is 5 or 6 seconds? You want me to show you? So you want to? So if you get a strip like this, And let's say you have counted, let's count them. How many are there, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them, right? What's the heart rate for this person?
You said 12?
Who said 72? Good job. It is 72 beats per minute. Yes, guys, it's 72 beats per minute. You simply multiply this 12 by 6, right? You got 72 beats per minute. And so the second question will be, this recording was done after exercise or before exercise? Before, right, guys? When the person was resting. Let's say if you have a heartbeat over 100, then you would say what? This tracing was the person after he exercised or she exercised. On the exam, you should be able to tell those 5 parts, their definitions. Number 2, you should be able to calculate the heart rate, right, guys? And you should be able to tell what the average values are, right? And also, you should be able to tell the different names of the tools. Just know what electrodes are and what the leads are, what sphygmomanometer is, what stethoscope is, right? Just the names, right? You don't need to know the procedures, or you don't need to know the details of the procedure. Now let's look at the circulatory histology. Circulatory histology means the microscopic structure of artery and vein. Yes, that's microscopic structure of an artery and vein. We have the 3 layers. Innermost layer is called the tunica interna or intima. The middle layer is called the tunica media, and the outer layer is the tunica externa. And the intima is mainly made up of the simple squamous epithelium, right? What is the name of that simple squamous epithelium called? It's called the endothelium. And endothelium is surrounded by, in arteries, surrounded by an elastic membrane. What is that called, guys? It's called what elastic membrane? Internal elastic. What is the middle layer made up of? It's made up of a layer called the what? It's called the tunica media, and it's mainly made up of smooth muscle. And also in the artery, the smooth muscle is again surrounded by a elastic membrane. Since that's on the outside, what do we call that elastic membrane? The external elastic membrane. And the tunica externa is mainly, again, collagen fibers. It's covering, protecting the whole thing from outside, the whole blood vessel from outside. And it is also bringing arteries, nerves to the blood vessel, yes? And the name of the blood vessel, arteries and veins that are coming to the blood vessels, they are called the vasa vasorum. So in your head, you should know these. Intima, the 2 parts, media, the 2 parts, and externa, mainly collagen fibers and the vasa vasorum. This is the picture for the arteries. Let's look at the arteries quickly. If you look at this artery, and what is the main differentiating point you can see from a picture for the artery and vein? It's mainly what, guys? Anyone? Yes, Lawrence. Yes, guys. I would look for the elastic membrane. So in this picture, since you can clearly see this internal elastic membrane, you know this is an artery. And we look at other differences also. The veins have bigger lumen, thinner walls. But later in lecture tomorrow, let's look at that. So on the exam, just pointing to this inner layer. It says, what is this full layer? You read the question carefully. I just want to know, what is the full layer? What do you say? It's the tunica interna. But if it says, what is this dark line, this dark twisted or this squiggly line? What would you call this? It is the, you ask them innocent, it is the internal elastic membrane. But if it says, what is the name of the cells? What is the name of the cells on the surface of the internal elastic membrane called? What is this epithelium called? It is the thank you so much, endothelium or the simple squamous epithelium. Good job. What is the second full layer called? What's the full layer? Tunica media, but it says what is the specific layer? What is this layer? Again, the word is not full layer. It simply says what is this layer? Thank you so much. The smooth muscle, and what is this dark layer outside of this? Thank you so much. The external elastic membrane, and this whole connective tissue around it is called the tunica externa. And if you see these blood vessels around it, any rounded structure, that looks like a cross section of a blood vessel. What would you call those guys? You would call them the. Thank you so much. We call them the vasa vasorum. Thank you so much, Innocent. So let's now look at the vein, guys. This is the lumen. Yes, is the lumen on the list?
No.
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 No. But generally, you guys know what lumen is. Yes, because lumen is the cavity. Lumen is the cavity. So this cavity is for the lumen. This is just some clotted blood. So again, on the exam, what is this innermost layer called? Full layer, tunica interna. And what is it made up of, guys? It's made up of endothelium or the simple squamous epithelium. What is this middle layer called? It is the tunica media. It's mainly made up of what?
Muscle.
Smooth muscle, and this outermost layer is made up of collagen fibers. That's the tunica externa. And yes, if you want to do anything that's blood vessel like in this connective tissue, just around the connective tissue, you would call them the vasa vasorum. Look at this big picture, guys. Is this an artery or a vein? How about that one? Good job. You can see the sublayers also. Let's look at a closer picture. You can see all the layers here, guys, for the artery. Any questions here? Should I repeat this or you guys good? Good, right?
Yeah.
Hard to tell, but I think this is a part of a big vein. You can actually go in there and look at the different parts of it. This is a really big vein. This is the lumen of the vein. This is the wall of the vein. The connective tissue around it is the fat cell. This is connective tissue. All the blood vessels you see are the vasa vasorum. Okay, guys, what are these? These are the vasa vasorum. Any questions? You know in your head, guys, what to expect. You should be able to tell the difference between an artery and a vein, right? The exam?
Yeah.
Thank you, Aminata. You are awesome. Let's look at the lymph node. We need to know 2 or 3 lymph nodes, or 3, I think, right? We need to know 2 or we'll find out.
2. Spleen and thymus.
Yeah, we don't need to know lymph nodes, right? Thank you. Yeah. So the spleen, what you should be able to tell is that if you see the whole organ, the covering around it, the capsule is the easy part. So if you look at the whole organ, guys, if you look at the whole organ, let's say just the whole organ, you see this whole background, guys. This whole background, it is same color. That is for the red pulp. What is this whole background called, guys? That's called the red pulp. So anything is pointing here. All this is what, guys? All this is the red pulp. What is this?
Red.
It is the red pulp. But within the red pulp, you see these bunches, these nodules. You know what nodules are, right? Like these rounded structures. These are either called the splenic nodules, or you can call them the splenic corpuscles, or you can simply call it the white pulp. Okay, so the whole background is the pink portion is called the red pulp. These blue or purple areas are called the white pulp or the splenic nodules. And in the middle of this, not necessarily right in the middle, but somewhere you will see this blood vessel, and this artery is called what artery? It is called the central artery. It's called central artery. And what is the covering on the outside called? The covering on the outside, yeah, it's usually dark red in color or dark pink in color. That's called the capsule. And the capsule comes deep inside and it forms these partitions. What are these partitions called? Trabeculum. Matthew, you awesome. So all these are trabeculum. All these are trabeculum. Pink, dark pink things. Even these guys, these are trabeculum coming in. Alright, these are trabeculum. You guys happy about the spleen?
Yep.
Don't confuse this with the pancreas. In the pancreas, we also said that the background is the same color. You don't have to worry about that. Then we have these islets. These are not islets, alright, guys? Why? Because first of all, these are more purplish bluish in color, and also you can see the central arteries here. And what are these? This white pulp or this purple thing made up of? It's made up of millions of what?
Lymphocytes.
You're awesome, really awesome. Thank you, Aminata. It's made up of lymphocytes. Any questions about the spleen? Here, this is also spleen. What would you call this portion here, guys? This portion or this portion? Anyone? Loud. Red pulp. Thank you so much. And what are these purple areas? White pulp. And within the white pulp, can you see these blood vessels here, guys?
Yep.
They are the central. And what is this pink thing, anyone in the middle? You're the best, Matthew. That's the capsule, right? Good job, guys. These are the trabeculae, right? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Same here? Gorgeous, you got it.
Good.
And I think thymus is the easy one. You see the capsule and any partition, even if you don't see the connective tissue, but this empty space is basically connective tissue going, making these partitions. What would you call this whole empty space, guys? This whitish space? They are the,
Trabecular.
thank you, they're the trabeculae. Good job. And what are the trabeculae doing? They are basically dividing the thymus into regions. What is each of this region called?
Lobule.
It's called a lobule. And each of the lobule, when you look at the section, it's made up of these two parts. The
Cortex.
core, the deep portion is called the medulla, and outside is called the cortex, right? So this deep portion is called what? Medulla, and this outside portion is called cortex. And in the medulla, if you see a clearly different, again, sometimes it's lighter, sometimes it's darker. If you see something of different shade, that would be called the what, guys? These whitish things here in the middle. Again, as I said, sometimes they are pink or purple, different colors. So within the medulla, if you see these round circles, they are called the, since there is a thymus, it's called the thymic corpus. Okay, it's called the thymic corpus. I did not mention, but guys, for every of these organs, you should be able to tell the organ. So on the exam, it will simply show you a picture of this. Let's say, it will simply say, it will not ask for the red or the white pulp or the lymphocyte or the artery. It will simply say, what's the name of this organ? What's the organ, guys? Yes, you should be able to tell that's a spleen. Here, you should be able to tell this is the thymus. Okay, guys. You should be able to tell where the capsule is. Can you see the capsule here, guys? Can you see the trabeculae here? Can you see the lobule here? Can you see the medulla here? Can you see the cortex here?
Here.
And can you see the thymic corpuscle?
Here.
These are the thymic corpuscles. Yes, guys. Anything in the middle, that would be the thymic corpuscle. Here also, you can see all the structures, right? Yeah, this is again, what is this thing in the middle, guys, for the thymus? Thymic corpuscle, right? That's the thymic corpuscle. What are these arrows representing, guys, for the thymus? Again, this is the darker part. What would you call this? What is this part of the?
Cortex.
Yes, that's the cortex. What is this arrow pointing at?
Medulla.
Medulla and the thymic corpus.
Corpus.
And what is this full structure, guys? What is this full structure representing? It's one of the lobule, right? That's one of the lobules. But if it says what is the whole organ? Thymus, right? Thymus. So you should be able to tell what is this representing. You should say it's the lobule, right? Take a 5-minute break. You guys good?
Good.
Good, guys? All right. So let's look at the arteries of the pulmonary circulation first, and then we look at the systemic arteries, right? Can anyone first name them, guys? Can anyone name the 2 arteries you need to know? Oh God, yes. One artery you need to know for the systemic circulation. Sorry? Loud, guys. Come on again. Pulmonary trunk, right, guys? Pulmonary trunk, and then it has 2 branches. What are those 2 branches called?
Right and left pulmonary.
Right and left pulmonary. Yes. Are you right? And then we do the systemic. Let's do the. Here. Can you see this? Here, guys. This is what, guys? Pulmonary trunk, and this is the left pulmonary artery, and all these blue are the branches of it, right? Here are the branches of it. Now let's look at the systemic arteries, right, guys? And you can see that the pulmonary arteries are blue and the systemic arteries are all red. Now let's start with the main artery. What's the main artery that leaves the left ventricle called? Aorta. What is this part specifically? Thank you so much. Ascending, and then what is this arch? For the arch, it's really hard to see the 3 branches, but I can see 1, 2, 3 branches. What would you call this branch here? Thank you so much, Ricky. If I look at the one in the middle here that goes up here, that is the left common carotid, and this really on the left side, that's the excellent. Yeah, that's the left subclavian. Let me look at a better picture.
Wait. I'm sorry. I know the one on the right is the right, or is the brachial.
Okay, this is the arch.
Yeah.
This is the brachiocephalic trunk.
Okay.
This is the brachiocephalic trunk, and this one is the
Left common carotid.
left common carotid, and this one just next to it.
Oh, it's the left subclavian.
Right, guys? That's the left subclavian. Yeah, now you can see the. What is the name of this one? The exam is pointing to this one. What would you call it? Loud, come on. It is the left common carotid, agree? And then this divides into two branches. Can you see this faint line between? Can you see the two branches here? On the exam, I follow this one. The one that's more superficial is the left. Thank you so much. External carotid, and the one that's more deeper it gets lost somewhere in the skull. What would you call this branch here?
Left.
Thank you so much, Matthew. It's the left internal carotid artery. You guys good? Now let's look at the arteries. And what would you call these arteries here, in between the ribs?
Intercostal.
The intercostal arteries. And if you see let's look at abdominal really quickly since the picture came up. What would you call this artery here? Exact full name. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I thought you get this wrong. No, you are right. It's the descending abdominal aorta. Good job. And for the descending abdominal aorta, what I do is I look for this first branch just as it pierces the diaphragm. It's this first small half centimeter, 1 centimeter branch coming out right in the middle in the front. What is this called? What trunk?
Cephal or celiac.
Celiac trunk. That's a celiac trunk. But all the three branches are not shown in this picture, right? That's the what trunk? Celiac trunk. And this second branch that is just above the renal vessels. What is this branch here called?
Superior mesenteric.
Oh wow, you're awesome, guys. That's the superior mesenteric. And the red ones going to the kidney are the renal. You see the gonadal on this picture, guys. You see gonadal blood vessels here? No. Thank you, Lawrence. No. What is this one here? Below. Inferior mesenteric. Inferior mesenteric. What are these two branches? Thank you so much. They're the right and the left. Common iliac, right? The left and the right common iliac. And I'm trying to look for the. You cannot see the internal, external very well. You cannot see the branches of the internal, right? So you cannot see the internal, external iliac nicely on this model. What is the name of this red structure?
Popliteal.
Okay, well, let's say this is your exam, right? The full name for this. Full name.
Left popliteal.
Yes, left popliteal artery. You should mention left and right. You should mention artery and vein.
Okay.
And in many of the cases, for example, if you have a lot of colors here, so usually I never call me my kids anyway. So you guys good? Now they call me. All right, so you guys good? So if you see the red, on the exam, if it is you see many colors here on the exam, it will say what is this red structure, right? It will say what it is, and I expect you to write artery or vein here, right? So this is the what? Left popliteal
artery.
Artery. Good job. Good job. Now let's look at the arteries from the beginning, right? Let's look at the arteries from the beginning. Starting with the heart, the big arteries are, what would you call this one here, guys? Sorry,
Ascending aorta.
That's the ascending aorta. What is this portion of the called specific portion?
Aortic arch.
Aortic arch. This is the
Left subclavian artery.
left subclavian, left common carotid, right, guys? And in this case also, if you point to anything here that's going superficial, what would you call this one here, guys?
Left external.
External, excellent. And what would you call this branch here?
Brachiocephalic.
You're awesome, guys. That's the brachiocephalic trunk. Thank you. And then this quickly divides into two branches. What is this on the exam? Full name.
The right carotid artery.
You're awesome. Common carotid. What's this one here?
The right subclavian.
What's this one here?
Left subclavian artery.
What is this?
Left axillary.
Left axillary. What is this one here? Right axillary. What's this one here? Artery. Yeah, there are no basilic arteries in the veins we have, right? So this is the brachial artery. What is this, guys? That's a brachial artery, and then you don't need to know these branches. What are these two final branches? What is this one here? Ulnar. Is this the right or the left?
Right.
Right ulnar artery, left radial artery. Agree? You cannot see them on this picture. The ulnar artery. So are you done with the arteries of the head and neck and the what do you call chest region and the upper limb, guys? Now let's look at the abdominal portion and the lower limb portion of the arteries on this green board model. When you look at the abdomen, so right after it comes out of the diaphragm, what is this first branch here? Yes, after that's the celiac trunk, Mohammed. Yes, celiac trunk. Then we have these. Yeah, definitely have 4 branches. You just need to know 3 of them on the exam. If it is pointing to this one or this one, usually it points to this one. What's the name of this one, guys? You are awesome. It's gastric. What is this one? Splenic artery. What is this one? Common hepatic, right? That's for the hepatic, right? Common most of the time, but just for this purpose one we are going to write, we are going to talk that. This is what side? This is the common hepatic artery, and what's this branch here?
Superior mesenteric.
Superior mesenteric. What are these red ones?
Renal.
Okay, full name for this one.
Left renal.
You are awesome, guys. These two are again. What is this one? Full name.
Left gonadal.
Left gonadal. What is this one? This is only single, right? It's just a superior mesenteric.
Inferior.
There's a superior of that. I lost the 2 points right there. So, now let's look at. Are you guys good with the arteries of the abdomen? Miss anything here? Now let's look at the. Sorry?
For the abdominal?
Yeah. Any artery miss?
We didn't. Oh, never mind. I don't think we started the sacral.
Okay, now let's look at the arteries of the lower limb. So, what's the name of this artery on the exam? Full name.
Descending abdominal.
You are awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Then this quickly divides into these 2 branches. What would you call these? This branch here?
Left common iliac artery.
Awesome. It's the right common iliac, and then these common iliac quickly divides at this point. They divide into 2 branches. What would you call this branch here? Left external iliac. Good job. What's this one here? The small red one.
Right internal.
Right internal iliac. You guys are awesome, guys. And then from the middle, guys, a red branch here comes out. What would you call this branch here?
Median sacral.
Median sacral. Thank you so much. Median sacral. Yes,
Can you see the external iliac again?
external. Yeah. So the division is here. So this whole thing is the external.
Okay.
This whole thing is the external, right?
Okay.
Left and the right, right? And when that external iliac, up until here it's external iliac, but once it's in the femur region, what would you call it below the head? What would you call this one here, guys, now?
Left femoral artery.
Thank you so much. Left. And once the femoral artery is behind the knee, what would you call it?
Left popliteal.
Left popliteal, right? And then below the knee, it divides into 2 branches. One goes in the front, so what would you call the one in the front? Anterior tibial. What would you call this one? Posterior tibial. What's this one here?
Right anterior tibial.
That's a perfect name. Thank you, Matthew. That's the right anterior tibial. Did you miss anything on the arteries? No? Not so bad.